Hey guys, welcome, and happy Thursday to everyone. This is Arlene Hughes coming to you live from Atlanta, GA. Now guys, we want to thank you for hopping on today. Let's kick off this great day together as we hear more on how to break records in life. Guys, spread the word now. There's still time for others to hop on. You know what we say, come one, come all. Now, this past week, guys, we've been hanging out in Dallas, and some great things have been announced, and some great record breakers are now coming on board in droves. So let's go ahead and welcome some of them now. Jamal Super. Welcome to the club, young man. Lavada Porter. Welcome. We can't wait to see you on the beaches of the world. Cynthia Nunez. It's time to start living those golden years the right way. Welcome. John Walton. Guys, he decided he wanted to link arms with his mom and come on board. So, great job for him and his mom, Kim Walton. Kaya Harris, right place, right time. Derek Ferris, wow. We are so glad you made the choice to come hang out with us. Brenda Hung, welcome to the family. Sharonda Wilkerson, so glad you found us. We've been waiting on you. Rebecca Ashford, welcome to the family. And Stephanie Holloway, this woman right here has so much joy. It's the kind of laughter that makes the whole room light up. Welcome to the family. Now, we also want to take a moment to recognize some record breakers, guys. We want to say congratulations to Mr. Doug Level. He just hit senior rep. For those of us on this call at a WV, you know what that means. Hard work and perseverance and commitment to helping others does have its just rewards. So proud of you, Doug. Way to go. We also want to say congratulations to Daryl Smith. He just preached to over 5,000 at his staff conference. Now, that's what I call breaking some records. Also want to say happy birthday to Coleman Collins. He just turned 33 years young and just happy for just more years coming. Now, we'll go ahead and kick off that portion of our program when we give honor to God. We have our script today. It's going to come from a young man who's a rising senior. He's a servant leader. He's a church group leader also. And he's a certified lifeguard. He's actually saved 2 lives thus far this summer. Glad he was at the right place at the right time. He's an excellent athlete in both basketball and volleyball. Without further ado, I give you my son, Galen Jarrell Hughes.
Good morning, guys. My name is Galen, and I am 17 years old. Today, guys, I'm thankful that God gives us, I'm thankful for the adversities that God gives us and the faith that He has that we can overcome these problems. So the scripture for today, guys, actually correlates with that, and it is from Psalms chapter 55, verse 22. Psalms chapter 55, verse 22. And it reads as follows. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and He shall sustain thee. He shall never suffer the righteous to be moved. That is Psalms chapter 55, verse 22. So today, guys, the person that we're bringing us the next segment of our call, he's a father and a husband. He runs 4 different companies. He was in Time magazine, and he's been featured on multiple TV shows, radios, and newspaper shows. He served in the United States Marine Corps for 9 years. Thank you for your service. He's a national trainer and mentors hundreds. He's helped over 200 Girl Scouts to college. He's a 100K ring earner in this concept. Guys, please Give a big welcome to my dad, Dale Hughes.
Well, just outstanding. Thank you for that. It's a crisp Thursday morning here in Atlanta. And for everybody who's on the call, good morning, good day, great rising, great day. You're listening to How to Break Records in Life. I'm your host, Dale Hughes. We hope to bring a little value to you today by starting it off with inspiration. Guys, we conduct this call weekdays, 7:25 a.m. to 7:55 a.m. We hope you are having a great morning. And just to remind everybody, family, our book of the second half of the month, the bottom half of the month, is Hopedealers: The Calling, the Struggles, the Breakthroughs, and the Community of Believers by Nadine Blaze Sarayas. Hopedealers. You know, it's special to be able to start off your day with your wife and your son all working together. That is a beautiful thing, especially here in the United States when there are so many distractions out there and so many reasons for families to be pulled apart. I'm thankful to have mine all together. And today, being Thursday, well, on Thursdays, typically we like to read and hear excerpts from the books that we select on this show. These books are designed to help you grow personally, help you grow financially, help you grow in all types of ways, and they are the best books. These are books that are certified by those who have read them as being some of the most remarkably impacting scripture written. And today is no different. It is actually coming from our book of the bottom half of the month. We're going to start off where we left off last time. We're going to begin with chapter 3. It's entitled Cujo and the Angel. For my very first job, I was the neighborhood newspaper delivery girl for the Observer-Dispatch in our small town of New Hartford, just outside of Utica in upstate New York. Me and my 10-speed bicycle and a bag containing carefully rolled up newspapers slung sideways across my chest zipped around that block, generating a whopping $100 a month, which I thought was pretty good for an 11-year-old blooming entrepreneur. There was this one house toward the end of my route that had a very large, angry, scary dog on a questionable chain, and it was tied to a stake. And that dog ferociously barked at me every time I delivered their newspaper. Each time, I would anxiously throw the paper into the yard and, speed off, feeling like I had narrowly escaped death from the jaws of hell, just tearing me apart. Wow. I learned early on that entrepreneurship does not come without risks. Yet the juice is always worth the squeeze. Back then, at the turn of 1980, I can tell you, I was the most successful 11-year-old sixth grader amongst my peers, making a whopping $100 cash per month. One day, as I passed Cujo's house, I noticed a premature ceasing of the ferocious barking. As I turned around to my horror, Cujo broke his chain and was running full force towards an early meat dinner. Me. I knew I was a goner. Powered by this massive rush of adrenaline, I broke the record speed on my bicycle, wildly and frantically racing into what was a field in front of my elementary school across the street from my house on Higbee Road. Well, I lost control of my bike. The perfectly rolled newspapers in the bag were flying in every direction in the air. My bike slung over in the other direction, and behind me, Cujo. Behind me, running with eyes bugging out in hopes of devouring his long-awaited Italian meal. Suddenly, as I picked my head up and I looked forward, a brown car appeared in the middle of the field out of nowhere.
A lady leaned over to the passenger side, yelling out the window, "Hurry, hurry, get in!" All those lessons about getting in the car with strangers had no significance in my life at that moment. I got up and flung myself in a car and slammed the door just in time before old Cujo could even get a nip at my toe. She drove me directly across the field, onto the street, and into the driveway of my greenhouse. I thanked her and ran out of the car, breathless, to go tell Mom and Dad what happened. They came running outside to see that no car was there. She was gone. They made me describe the car and the driver inside. It was a small town. Almost everyone knew each other, but no one had heard of the description of this lady with this brown car. My parents were just thankful I was alive. So was I. As my father was walking up the street with a baseball bat in his right hand, ready to have an Italian conversation with Cujo's owners, my mother stayed with me in the house and comforted me in my moment of post-trauma with some pepperoni and mozzarella. I went to bed that night knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, that I had a supernatural encounter with an angel. I believed in God at that moment and knew He sent His angel to protect me. Ever since that experience, hope was ignited in me, as I believed without a shadow of a doubt that God had His hand on me and had a special purpose and mission for my life. I've never once doubted God's provision, His protection, or His promises for me since that day. Hope, faith, and belief were solidified in my heart. I sang little songs to God and chanted my little homemade prayers to Him every night when I'd go to bed for years after that. I also began to consider that perhaps the supernatural realm was much more real than reality itself. This was the first of a few other supernatural encounters that I'd experienced later in life that constructed hope. Chapter 4. The College Days, Camp Calvin, and the Jungles of Haiti. One summer, when I was in school at the University of Georgia, I faced the decision of what to accomplish during my summer break. Meredith and I decided that instead of vacationing to exotic destinations like most of our classmates seemed to do, we decided to serve as camp counselors at Camp Calvin in Hampton, Georgia. Now, to my surprise, I was assigned to a cabin of children diagnosed with ADHD, a fairly new term back then in 1990. Yikes! Were they going to scare me away? I wondered. However, my love for serving children who had challenges began to grow as I was determined to find the beauty and strength in each one, in spite of what others found to be problematic with them. As I was just getting comfortable with the daily routine, a rainy day occurred at Camp Calvin. I had a cabin full of ADHD 9-year-old kids. Our sunshiny weather plans were destroyed. Well, hope was not lost. We ended up putting on our swimsuits and our shorts, and we created a new activity called mud puddle hopping. We found every mud puddle we could on that property and splashed belly first in each puddle, covering ourselves in mud like the happiest piggies on the face of this earth. We giggled so hard for hours that our bellies began to hurt. What fun. Hopelessness can be both small scale and large scale. Yes, it's important to help save lives, but on a small scale, it's also important to transform a rainy day into fun if you can. But hope was nowhere to be found. We just had to create our own hope. And then she has pictures. There is, it looks like a prayer, and pictures of the kids who were at Camp Calvin. Nice. Now, as the next summer break approached, I decided to travel a little bit farther south and experience a mission trip in Haiti. It was 2 weeks before a military coup broke out and tension was rising in Port-au-Prince. Along with serving in an orphanage, we also proceeded to set up a medical station in which we dispensed medicine and supplies that we had smuggled into the country to distribute. I remember craftily sewing meds into the lining of our suitcases in order to pass through customs. I recall learning how to administer a shot by practicing on oranges. I remember very thin children having bellies the size of a basketball. We would give them this medicine, supposedly derived from green peppers, that would make them expel the parasites out of their swollen bellies. I recall the grueling 8-hour drive traveling out into the jungle and villages into the mountains. No bathrooms existed anywhere. We had to locate a bush or an outhouse with a hole in the ground to relieve ourselves. I remember one time we were in a jungle village where we had heard that no white man had ever been before. I had to pee. I sprinted to a bush to empty my bladder, and when I glanced up, there was a large group of children glaring at me. Some were giggling, some with jaws dropped, and I assumed because they had never seen so much white skin in their lives. I remember sleeping on dirt floors in the families' homes who welcomed us. I also recall hearing the yelps in the distance of the voodoo animal sacrifices. There was also a pregnant woman with severe burns coming into our medical station set up in the village that day. We discovered that a voodoo witch doctor was chanting over her when a lantern blew up and burned her from head to toe. When we finally left the village, we brought 2 very ill babies with us. The malnourishment, dehydration, AIDS, and many other diseases were so rampant in the mountains and jungles of Haiti, it was devastating. The women kept having children with no education about health or disease. Sadly, they unknowingly kept giving birth to one HIV-infected child after another. I'll never forget taking turns with my friends holding these babies the entire 8-hour drive back to the orphanage. Unfortunately, both babies had died by the time we arrived back to Port-au-Prince. Our hearts were so heavy, and we remained speechless to one another. One baby died in my own arms as we sang soft, sweet, loving words to them. It was one of the most eye-opening, sobering experiences I've ever had in my life. It was life-changing to have had the opportunity at that young age of 19 to deliver hope in a severely oppressed community through dispensing medicine, sharing our faith, interacting and connecting with the people there. I developed a tremendous appreciation for our conveniences and quality of life in the USA, as this was evidenced upon arriving back home into the Miami airport. I ran directly to the restroom, got on my knees, embraced and kissed the porcelain toilet with a level of gratitude I never had prior. That mission trip impacted me so much that I returned to the University of Georgia and changed my major. I had entered UGA as an accounting major in Terry College of Business. However, I ended up graduating from Adderhold College of Education with a bachelor's degree in education. I figured dealing hope to children as a school teacher would be more rewarding than filing people's taxes as a CPA. Not once did I even consider the financial aspect of those careers. I simply followed my heart. While on the Haiti mission trip, I had met Scott. We continued our relationship as I returned to school. 9 months later, we were married. In the middle of all of my college education at UGA, I found myself married, and then within 2 years after that, I found myself with 2 cute, adorable little boys. Thank God I was in the field of child education and development. Being in that field allowed me the grace to bring my two little boys into my classes with me. At that point, in my last year of school with two young children, I was so financially challenged, I could not even afford a single textbook for any of my classes. I decided to attend every single class and take impeccable notes, hoping I could make it without the required materials. I ended up with straight A's and made the dean's list with no textbooks. A small, rambunctious toddler on one knee and a baby on the other. I was determined to make magic happen and find hope in the situation in spite of not having the finances I needed to purchase textbooks. And we have a picture, a young Nadine with two kids on her left hand and right hand and another small following behind. Chapter 5, the scientific process of the hope transaction. More recently, I had a dear friend and colleague, Kit Cummings, scientifically dissect and explain this entire amazing process that occurs in the body with dopamine. It was the unveiling and enlightenment of such a simple concept, revealed in a whole new light. Kit is an international motivational speaker, best-selling author, and the founder of an amazing 501c3 nonprofit organization called The Power of Peace Productions and the Power of Peace Project. Hope is the new dope. This is his registered slogan. He's well known for creating it. He goes further to validate this slogan by explaining the dopamine transaction that occurs in the human body. As a recovered alcoholic, he found that the magic behind a life of sobriety was to participate in this dopamine transaction acquired by serving others. This actually became a new addiction for him, validating that hope is the new dope. When you simply say something encouraging to another, do something kind to another, serve another, perform an act of love for another, and you put a smile on their faces or make them feel good, then biochemically in their body, dopamine is increased. That's cool. However, the cooler part is when the person doing the dealing sees the smile on their recipient's face. Now their dopamine is increased. That's the addicting part. Then here's where it gets even crazier. If anyone else is around observing this whole transaction, they too experience an increase in dopamine in their body just from witnessing the whole deal. Next thing you know, you've got dopamine flinging around all over the place with a virus hitting up everyone present. Now you have a big, huge hope is the new dope fest. Simply powerful and addicting. This is the type of dopamine we were created for experiencing. The natural God-given high we were intended to enjoy. Sadly, many people are unsuccessful with this process of connecting with one another, which can result in a dopamine deficiency. Many have come to lose hope and often turn to substances or other addictive behaviors to satisfy their dopamine craving in synthetic ways that can lead to severe illness and death. Chapter 6, why am I writing this book? And guys, we will continue our reading of Hopedealers by Nadine Thorez, the international best-selling book by our friend and our resident hope dealer. Guys, these stories of uplifting memories shared on the last couple of days, you can create your own set of stories by having success in the turmoil that is life, our busy days that get interrupted 500 times by any number of events that occur in our life. You can speak success and peace and love into your own life if you would only just use your tongue. In the Bible, it reads, the power of life and death is in the tongue. We make declarations on our own life every single broadcast. At the end of the show, we make affirmations. We speak into existence the very life we want to lead. We call it forth because you have that power. It's a superhuman power given to us by God himself. Say these alongside us, family. Say them with conviction. Say them with emotion. I am a child of the light. I am a hope dealer to many who surround me. I have a great deal to give. I only need to look inside. I inspire everyone I come in contact with to be more than they ever thought they could be on their own. I am a leader. I am light and I am love. I am a never-ending source of problem solving. I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. I am amazed at all of the problems I have overcome in my lifetime. I am capable and I am disciplined. And you are. I get things done every day. Every day I get closer to accomplishing my dreams. Family, you know I think that laughter is the most potent medicine out there. And today we've got a belly cruncher for you. So there's this pirate. And he walks into a pub. And he says, "Arg, bartender, pour me an ale." And the bartender pours him an ale. And the bartender notices that the pirate has a steering wheel coming out of his pants. A steering wheel. And the bartender asks the pirate, "Mate, what's the deal with that steering wheel coming out of your pants?" And the pirate says, "Arg, yeah, it's driving me nuts." Family, I hope that brought a smile to your face. You've been listening to How to Break Records in Life. I'm your host, Del Hughes. We conduct this broadcast weekdays, 7:25 a.m. to 7:55 a.m. We hope you're back tomorrow. We hope we added just a little value to your day by starting it off with inspiration and a smile. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Invite a friend. But until then, have faith, stay the course. Have faith, stay the course. Take care, everybody.